these days, buzzword is cloud. Everyone talking about cloud and taking things into your devices. So, it's one way that we can make all our processes easier with this fast-paced world. And so why don't we have a look at the cloud systems and what they can offer you in this session. So in this session, we're going to look at how we can take the advantage of a cloud system. So we are mainly focusing on MYOB Advanced, as we've heard in a couple of sessions so far. So why MYOB Advanced? Like I introduced earlier, MYOB Advanced is it's a system where you can access anywhere, anytime when you have a browser. So we do have a on the go, like a mobile app as well. So you can use app as well as any browser compatible devices to access it. So there's no complaints of not having, different computers, but all you need is just internet. And like I heard this word called growing pains. Yeah. So as you might start with a smaller business, but as you grow, you would need to add more entities, you would need to add more users, you might also need to add more modules to it. So that's where MYOB Advanced is very strong. MYOB Advanced can support up to, like, I wouldn't call it a limit. Like there's no limit to the number of entities that you can support in MYOB Advanced. So you can implement the system for one entity and bring all other entities as you start growing the business by adding companies. So you will have the same structure, same workflows, and you will be able to grab all the reports split by companies. Not only that, you could also be able to report your taxes per company. So, and the other aspect of growing is the users. So, as you grow staff, you would need to add more users. So all you need to do is add your users with licenses so and there won't be any difference to the system. And same goes with different modules. We have multiple modules in MYOB Advanced. You can start with finance and then grow into inventory, sales orders, purchase orders, projects. We talked about projects and costing side of it earlier, as well as detailed other reporting areas. So in that way, like MYOB Advanced could give you the biggest benefits of scalable or like a growing business. Another question that we constantly get asked about is like how up to date your system is. Look, with MYOB Advanced, it always comes with twice a year dedicated automated updates or upgrades, we call it. And with these frequent upgrades, you will always stay up to date, and there would be bug fixes, new functionalities. So you will never be far from the updated functionalities and the latest technologies with MYOB Advanced. One of the other capabilities is this cybersecurity. The ability to face the cybersecurity threats. Like MYOB Advanced is hosted in AWS servers, and they are very secure. And also MYOB team, actually, they take overnight backups, like daily midnight backups, we call it. So you will always have a backup of your system up to date. And not only that, MYOB Advanced now comes with two-factor authentication. So that also minimizes any data breaches or like the data security issues. And with the latest releases, we are now integrating with your Windows, Active Directory integrations. So that means we call it single sign-on. So you will not need to maintain multiple usernames and passwords. So that all your usernames with your Windows credentials will be synced in MYOB Advanced as well. Another common approach in or common request that the cloud system is looking for is the ability to integrate with different other subsystems. Like when we get to this Internet of Things, so we are seamlessly needing to integrate with one system to the other and the other. So therefore, MyOB Advanced comes in with built-in various integration methodologies. Like one of them would be REST API. So you would be able to integrate with your like third-party e-commerce systems and let's say project management systems and so forth. But having said that, MyOB Advanced also contains built-in integrations like Shopify. So the Shopify is an e-commerce system, as well as some of the CRM systems such as Salesforce and HubSpot. Not only that, MyOB Advanced can also integrate with BI systems such as Power BI and Focus via the OData protocol. So that also allows you to do data integrations with other systems. MyOB Advanced also has a built-in Excel integration. We call it Velixo, as well as a built-in integration to the Microsoft Outlook. Like with these integrations, you can work with one system but still get the insights of the MyOB Advanced from within that system. But what's exciting is that in 2023.1, which is the latest version that's being released in at the moment, so we are also going to have Microsoft Teams integration. Isn't that interesting? One of the core, apart from the integrations and the data security upgrades and the scalability side of things, another core strength of MyOB Advanced is the ability to configure and customize. When you work with the system and it, like, you feel it yours when you have all your terminology, all your processes, all that information built into the system. You don't feel like it's MyOB Advanced, you will feel like it's your own system. So that's where MyOB Advanced comes in really handy. So we can customize and configure, I would say, to the nth degree. And these include custom screens, custom fields, actions, mass actions, customized workflows, notifications, business events, side panels, and many more. Last but not least is the ability to get your reporting then and there. You would not need to integrate with any other system. MyOB Advanced itself is capable of bringing all your insightful data from within the system via dashboards. So with that, I think, I have explained you a lot. Why don't we have a look at it in real life? So with that, I'm going to take you to my local instance. So this is my local MyOB Advanced instance. And so it lives in the browser. So I can I can give my login as a username and password. So I'm running the screen on Microsoft Chrome. So let me log in. So now I'm logging into MyOB Advanced. So what you see at the top right hand corner is my login information, so that I have logged myself with the user Tony, and then all the information is there, and you can look at your profile under my profile. The question mark that you see next to it is the help. So one of the other advantages of MYOB Advanced is that it has a comprehensive help. You can search anything in the system and it'll be able to give you the best information as per the help. And then we have the date and time here, and we also have the ability to, change the business date if need be. And then next to it, you will see the structure of different businesses. Now, in this MYOB Advanced instance, as I explained before, it works with three different entities or business entities. One is a franchise, the other one is Rapid Bite headquarters, and the Rapid Bite regional offices is the third entity, which has two locations, one in Sydney and one in Melbourne. Right, and what you see here in this workspace is the landing page, and I have set my dashboard as the landing page. Okay, and then next to it is the little clock button, shows you the recent history. So it gives you all the things that I have visited recently. So that means last screen that I have been to is the inventory item standard inventory item screen. Okay, and also like in the favorites, you will also see any favorites and then the recently viewed too. And once, if you want to go out of the screen, you can press the close button. And that the next field that you see here is the universal search. So I can search here for any word. So system will bring up any screens in the menu items that comes with sales or order words. And then in the next tab, you will see transactions and profiles. So I don't have any transactions and profiles under sales order. And then help topics tab will list you any help topics that are related to the sales order side. And the last tab in here you will see is the files. So that means if you have attached any files with the sales order name on it, so you will see those files. So I have got quite a fair bit of files that I've uploaded into the system with the sales order name on it. Okay, let's close out of that. And the next comes the menu. So this menu is very user friendly and you will be able to manipulate this menu bar the way you like it. Now in this menu, I have a favorite that's replenishment and the data views, the different modules. Now these modules are, why I see only a limited number of modules is because I have only pinned them. I have unpinned the rest of the modules. So which means if you're not interested in finance, you can unpin it in the menu and that will disappear. But of course, if you want to bring them back in, when you click into these 3 or 9 dots, so you will see all the modules available in the system and you'll be able to pin that back. So if I pin it back, you will see finance appearing. Okay, so likewise, you can see all the different modules available in the system. Now these modules, the modules names, these icons can be fully configured. You can even create one of your own module by linking, let's say you are working with a limited number of screens, you'll be able to bundle all those different screens into one module. So that way, the system makes sure you're only seeing things that you only needed and it will be fully catered for your requirements. Right, and I can use these 3 dots to expand it to left. Now the menu is now docked to the left, and if you want to get more room, you can expand it further so that you will reduce the size of the menu. And then what I had done before is collapsing it to the top, so you're getting the full space of the screen. Okay, now I'm going to go into the sales order screen. Now this is the sales order module, and in the module, so there are going to be different types of screen items. So these are called quick access cards or action cards, and these are transactions, automated operations, profiles, processes, inquiries. So you have the ability to create unlimited number of inquiry screens for various reporting. And then we also have printed forms. Here again, you can create as many forms as you like depending on your requirements. So the printed forms are usually we use for printing purposes, and if you want to print something and store it or email it to someone, so those are the printed forms that we use. And then all other reports. So these reports could be subledger reconciliation reports and so forth. And here again, we have a little cogwheel for you to configure what should be in your quick access menu and your full access menu. So these tick boxes can be unticked. So for example, now I have unticked picking worksheets, and then I have exit. Now I don't see the picking worksheets in my transaction list anymore, but you can still click show all. That will give you all the available menu options there. So that way you can get the workspace configured very neatly. So I basically declutter your working space and helps make things more efficient. Right, so if I go into a sales order screen, like this concept that I explained is very uniform throughout the system. And it's not just in sales orders, it will work with the sales orders, purchase orders, finance, banking, and so forth. Okay, so when you get to the sales orders, so we have a list always. So you will get to the list of sales orders first, and then from there you would be able to drill into each of the orders. And the tabs that you see up there are different types of, like we call them pre-configured filters. So you can create your own tab, like if you only want to see the sales orders that were created by you, you can create an own tab for my sales orders. So that way you will see only your sales orders. And here is another filter that I have created. So those are the non-completed sales orders. So when you click into this little funnel, you will notice the different conditions that you have incorporated in to create that pre-configured filter. So once you create this filter, it will be set for you. And if you want to share it with others, you can share it. And if you want it to be your default, you can set it as default too. And I save and apply. So that means when I get to this screen next time, this tab would be my default tab, not the old records. So part of the configuration that you can do is again these different side panels. So you can have your printed sales order form as a side panel, or you can have your customer detail screen as a side panel, or you can also have sales order detail screen as a side panel. And there's another side panel which we have put in as a report, so that can be a side panel, and the sales order screen can be a side panel. So that way, MYOB Advanced actually allows you to configure the system or your workspace so you can easily navigate through different screens. I also would like to take you to a screen called stock items. Let's go to stock item screen. Now in the stock item screen, again, you see the same list and you will see the list of side panels on your right. So I can look at the inventory summary without going into the sales or the stock item detail. So you can click through different stock items and you'll be able to see the different stock items inventory summary. Hope you remember that I mentioned about a mass action. So now here, when you can customize these inquiry screens to cater your requirements. Imagine now I want to inactive or activate certain stock items in one go. So we can turn on mass actions for this screen so that you can inactivate multiple stock items in one go. So all you need to do is go to the entry point tab in the generic inquiry screen, which is the back end of that screen. And we can enable mass record update and then say which action that you want update. Let's say it is status. And then when I view the inquiry again, you will see some magic. Now you would notice now there's a tick box next to it. What that means is that I can tick the list of items or stock items that I want to turn off. And I can say update and then it will ask, okay, for which status that I want it to be updated. I will say inactive and press finish. Now I have successfully updated my stock item list. So that's just one example of configurations that you can do with the system. As the next bit, I would like to take you to this dashboard. So when you click on this MYOB icon, or if it were a client system, we would upload an icon here, so that gives you the branding for the MYOB Advanced instance that you're running. So if I click into that, my logo, that loads me into the dashboard. As we've been talking about the insights and the data analytics, so this dashboard has all the information that you need. Now in the dashboard, we have tiles and different types of widgets. So these are called scorecard tiles and these are meter widgets. And then we also have a different widget as a chart to look at opportunities by stages. So if I scroll down, you will notice that same opportunities by stages have been looked at from different point of view. Now in here, I'm looking at the opportunities by stages, basically by stage. And here you can see like 70% of the opportunities are prospects. Well, you would wonder why all my opportunities are kind of stuck in the prospect stage compared to the rest of the stages. So now I'm looking at by value, but it really doesn't give you much information when it comes to insights. But if I look further, I have the same chart here where I'm looking at the opportunities by user. Now here, the workflow or the spread of the opportunities by user is that majority of the opportunities which are in prospect stage has been assigned to one particular user. So that kind of tells you, well, there's something's not right here. So you want to drill in and have a look. And probably you would need to take a corrective as well as a preventative action. So I can easily drill into this information. So I will click in. The system will try to give me what are those individual opportunities that has been assigned to this particular user. So they all have been assigned to the admin user. Now you had seen here that these records are highlighted in a different color. That's again a visual um, um, exception reporting capability in MYOB Advanced, where when you can set up a certain condition to change the records based on certain um, at certain situations. Now here again, I have identified that whatever the opportunity that have been assigned to an admin user is a red flag. So what I can then do is to update all these opportunity records to be assigned to someone else. Now I am going to select all of these opportunities. Again, using the same method, I'm going to do a mass update and assign it to Tony and finish. Now I have updated all my opportunities um, that were stagnated into Tony. Now, if I go back to my dashboard again, you will notice, then let me go down. Now, all the opportunities that were sitting in the admin user has now been assigned to Tony. So that way, with MYOB Advanced, you can easily understand or look into the insightful information. And not just that, you can take corrective and preventative actions um, very quickly. I mean, we always talk about having the information ready for you in a timely manner, and that's exactly what the system is doing. You're given useful information at the right time with the right tools where you can also apply preventive and corrective actions. I think with that, I believe you would have got a good understanding about what my advance can give you and the capabilities of my advance. And feel free to reach out to your partner to discuss more about my advance.